one was about like my kid came home and said the teacher says we can't do Thanksgiving. You're not supposed to do Thanksgiving because of what we did to the Indian. And you know, the mother just had to say, we're doing fucking Thanksgiving, okay?
Yeah.
This is just insane. But there is something going on with sort of high income white liberal people.
Yeah.
This sort of like racial self-loathing.
Welcome back to Black Coffee, folks. It's genuinely interesting to see someone like Bill Maher finally wake up to the absurdity of the woke movement. He correctly identifies how the initial intent of being aware of injustice has metastasized into a form of social and cultural extremism. From a conservative Republican standpoint, this shift highlights the danger of ideologies that prioritize grievance and division over common values and individual merit. It's about time more voices, even from unexpected corners, started recognizing this departure from traditional liberal principles.
The guys came up front to start acting.
Right.
The black kids just started heckling the Rocky Horror Picture Show actors.
But we're not saying where black kids is necessarily a bad place, right? Let's get get you not canceled.
Okay, yeah, but it was where we went was.
You're saying it was a rough neighborhood.
It was a rough neighborhood, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a rough neighborhood. Whatever. I don't know how to talk anymore. I just say the thing that's real.
Okay. Right.
By the way, you're the fucking reason for that. I've been a fan of yours for too long. You've said shit that is so
thank you
real that I go everyone, dude. I can't even, like, I would go off on a tangent for the amount of times that my wife goes, hey, I need you to watch this. And then it's a clip of you interviewing fucking, just everyone. You're very prolific and you're very dialed into.
The examples Maher shared about the bizarre happenings in schools are deeply concerning to us conservatives. The idea that Thanksgiving, a time for unity and gratitude, is being labeled as inherently problematic, or that children are being subjected to performative exercises in social justice that border on the ridiculous, is a clear indication of ideological capture in our education system. We believe schools should focus on academic excellence and fostering patriotism, not on instilling divisive narratives based on identity politics and historical guilt.
My wife thought we were losing our minds as Democrats in LA.
Right.
Because all of a sudden we were like, we didn't feel connected to we would go to these school functions and the way people were talking was so crazy. So crazy that we were like, are we not? We went to a thing for Georgia to go to high school and they said, the school seems pretty good. And then they're like, is it true you make the boys sit on the floor and the girls can stand on chairs and yell at them and oppress them? And they're like, yes, that is true. And I was like, what the fuck? And they're like,
right.
Is it true that you have the white kids sit on the floor and people of color yell insults to them? And they go, we do. It's to teach them. And so you see parents nodding like, that's really smart.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there with Leanne going, well, I'm not sending my kid.
Maher rightly points out the blurring lines between traditional liberalism and this new wave of wokeness. As conservatives, we've long argued that the core tenets of liberalism, free speech, individual liberty, and open debate are being actively undermined by the woke agenda's emphasis on censorship, groupthink, and identity-based hierarchies. What was once a pursuit of equality has devolved into an authoritarian demand for ideological conformity. And it's encouraging to see figures like Maher acknowledging this dangerous trajectory.
Here, no fucking way.
Bert, I cannot tell you how many times I have heard a version of this story from parents. Yeah. Apparently, I am the whisperer that people tell because I guess they've seen me talk on TV. And, I do have a common theme that, look, like you said, a liberal in LA, and you feel like some sort of an outsider because it's the difference between liberal and woke. Yeah. And this kind of stuff that woke, I have no problem with the term when it used to just mean alert to injustice. Mm-hmm. When it became about this nonsense that you're talking about now.
Yeah.
And for people who think, they exaggerate. Well, it's not everywhere. Nothing is everywhere. There's, thousands and thousands of different schools who do things differently. But for people who want to pretend that this kind of nonsense isn't going on, that's equally with your head up your ass.
The concept of racial self-loathing among some on the left, as Maher touches upon, is perplexing from a conservative viewpoint. Our belief system is rooted in the idea that all individuals are created equal and should be judged based on their character and actions, not on their race or historical baggage. This constant focus on collective guilt and historical sins, rather, than on present-day opportunities and individual responsibility is not only unproductive, but actively hinders genuine progress and fosters further division within our society. We champion a vision of unity based on shared American values, not on perpetual atonement.
And you're right. And the parents who nod along. And this is something else I've heard from a lot of parents who are, again, I'm the confessor here. And they're telling me about what goes on in their schools and how they, sometimes have to pull them out or just have to one was about my kid came home and said the teacher says, we can't do Thanksgiving. You're not supposed to do Thanksgiving because of what we did to the Indian. And the mother just had to say, we're doing fucking Thanksgiving, okay? Yeah. This is just insane. But there is something going on with sort of high income white liberal people.
Yeah.
This sort of racial self-loathing that is not helping any real problem.
Well, it's not
giving any black people anything that society owes them or improves lives.
Yeah.
It's just about, what is this with standing on chairs and yelling at children?
Finally, Maher's frustration with the almost Pavlovian reaction to the name Donald Trump among the woke left underscores a critical point for us conservatives. The inability to engage in rational discourse and the immediate descent into emotional outrage whenever certain figures are mentioned demonstrates a profound lack of critical thinking and an entrenchment in ideological echo chambers. We believe in robust debate and the ability to disagree without resorting to personal attacks or shutting down conversation entirely. Maher's observations, even if stemming from a different political place, validate our concerns about the increasingly irrational and intolerant nature of the woke left.
Times where you're forced into situations you don't want to be in.
Right. And forced to, and peer pressured to think the group think like we all think. And yes, this is, you said your wife and I watch, I guess, real time and see me talking about this. And I hear it a lot. There is just this oppressive atmosphere of groupthink, and it's in most of other TV shows.
Yeah.
And people are like, is it me? Am I nuts? And I love it when people talk to me like this, because it's like, no, you're not nuts and I'm not nuts.
Yeah.
The world is going a little nuts.
I watched, what's her name? Barbara Streisand. Bette Midler tweeted out.
Yes.
And then Mark Hamill's in my movie.
And let's be clear, criticizing this woke ideology is not about being against equality or justice. It's about being against the destructive and divisive tactics being employed in its name. It's about pushing back against the censorship, the cancel culture, and the constant virtue signaling that has become so prevalent. Bill Maher's recent commentary, as highlighted in these discussions, offers a glimmer of hope. It suggests that perhaps some on the left are starting to see the damage this woke ideology is causing. The alienation of ordinary people, the erosion of common sense, and the fostering of unnecessary division. As conservatives, we need to amplify these voices of reason, regardless of their past political affiliations. We need to engage in respectful dialogue with those who are genuinely open to questioning the prevailing narratives. And we need to continue to champion the principles of individual liberty, free speech, and common sense that have always been the bedrock of a healthy society. This isn't about a political victory. It's about the future of our culture. It's about ensuring that we don't descend into a state of constant division and ideological rigidity. It's about reclaiming a sense of shared values and a commitment to open and honest debate. So thank you, Bill Maher, for speaking some truth to power, even if it's taken you a while to get there. And to all of you listening, let's continue to have these tough conversations. Let's challenge the prevailing narratives, and let's work towards a more rational and united future. That's all the time we have for today on the Black Coffee Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay caffeinated and stay informed.